On the way on KWTX News 10 this morning, more fake money, but still no answers. Police on the lookout for two people.
Scandal on Capitol Hill, what it means for the Secret Service.
I was nervous when I first got on the field, but then I just performed.
I like it. A 5-year-old drum major steals the halftime show. So where did he learn his moves?
Now, from the most watched station in Central Texas, this is KWTX News 10 this morning.
Good morning, I'm Tina Mai. I hope that little boy just made you smile. He made me smile this morning.
It's a good way to start things off on a Thursday. Another good way to start things off on a Thursday morning, Brady Taylor. You could say that any day, though. Any day that ends in Y, I want to start it off with Brady Taylor. Brady, is it chilly out there again?
I've never heard that statement ever before, but I did teach that little boy all the drum major moves I know, so I helped him out a lot. Now, it is a cold start of the morning across Central Texas, back down to near below freezing for many of us. So grab the jacket as you step out the door. Down to right at 30 degrees in the Waco area. We've kind of seen the morning temperatures bounce around a little bit. Waco's been as cold as 28. Temple has been down to 32, now bounced up to 34. Not much consolation. It's still cold. 32 right now at Killeen and Gatesville, Mahia right at the freezing mark, along with Corsicana and Cameron, down to 30 degrees in Hearn and Centerville. So most of us are going to spend a brief amount of time right at that freezing mark this morning. Winds are pretty light, but they have shifted. That won't make a big impact this morning, but the return of south and southeast winds will start a warming trend over the next few days. Today, it gets us back in the low 60s, so a cool day, but not as cold as it's been the last couple of days. 70s return tomorrow. We could see the 80s return as early as this weekend before our next cold front moves in. So a lot of ups and downs in store in the weather over the next few days. We'll have more details here in just a minute. Tina?
Thank you, Brady. Fake money pops up again in Central Texas. Hewitt police have released this security footage yesterday. It shows a man and woman giving a gas station clerk a fake $100 bill. The bill recovered is similar to some found in a series of counterfeit cases out of Waco. In those cases, 1s and 5s were bleached, re-inked, and passed off as $100 bills. Then someone used them to buy expensive stuff on Craigslist. The two people here are not facing charges. Hewitt police just want to question them to see if their stories are similar.
I mean, we understand the circumstances behind the Waco case are a little bit different, but could they have come from the same batch or come from the same people? That's a possibility.
If you know where these two people are or who they are, you're asked to call Hewitt Police.
It's that time of year, holiday shopping time, and either you've started or you probably will soon. Police want to remind you, though, to be aware of potential scams. Local authorities and the Better Business Bureau want the public to be aware that scams usually surface this time of year, particularly with shoppers who swipe each time they make a purchase. We all do it. The scam happens after shoppers select no cash back. Police say store clerks will then reverse that and pocket the money. Authorities say there have been no reported complaints of this kind of scam happening so far in Bell County, but they're keeping an eye out for it this holiday season.
Right now it's 6:03, old bones and still no new answers. Hewitt police are asking for help in solving a double homicide case. They plan to ask larger law enforcement departments to help with the investigation. Back in September, 2 sets of bones, including a skull, were found behind a trailer park in a wooded area in Hewitt. Last month, a criminal justice expert reconstructed the face to try and help police solve the case. A number of tips were called in, but they were all dead leads.
I mean, we're currently actively just working this case. It has never stopped. But you know, it's the information is starting to slow down. We're just needing that additional piece of information to help us out.
Early forensic reports show that both men were white men and they were victims of an apparent homicide.
Officers in a local police department are getting a new pair of eyes. Belmead police plan to buy 14 new body cameras. Right now, the cameras they're using force them to make trips back and forth to the station to upload the video and recharge the batteries. They only have a small amount of storage and the battery doesn't last that long. Grant money will be used to buy those 14 new cameras.
Practice makes perfect. Area firefighters did hands-on hazmat training in case the real thing ever happens. A training program called Texas Trans Care came to Belmead yesterday. Volunteers with the program talked to around 100 first responders about hazmat materials stored in rail cars and highway tankers. Officials say the hazmat training is beneficial because an accident can happen anywhere and at any time. The training was all free.
There's good news for Baylor fans this morning. Baylor announced last night that they approved a 10-year contract extension for Art Briles, meaning his contract would run through 2023. This comes at a great time for BU as there has been widespread speculation that Texas might be interested in hiring Briles away. Briles has led Baylor to an 8-0 record this year and has his team 5th in the latest BCS rankings.
Talking the Affordable Care Act once again, officials will head to Capitol Hill today. They're meeting with Democrats to discuss the problems with the website and how they're going to be fixed. The government released the first month's enrollment numbers, and they were 80% lower than projected. Just less than 27,000 people enrolled using the government's website, and another 79,000 enrolled in states with their own websites. Here in Texas, less than 3,000 people enrolled.
CBS News has confirmed a report that a Secret Service supervisor has been removed from the president's security detail. The Washington Post first reported that the agent tried to re-enter a woman's hotel room after leaving a bullet behind. That same agent and his senior supervisor are being investigated for allegedly sending suggestive emails to female subordinates. The incidents follow a prostitution scandal involving agents last year.
The cleanup is continuing in the Philippines after a typhoon ripped through the region. More food will be brought in today to help the survivors. Yesterday, 49,000 people in the area got rice and canned food. Officials say more than 2,300 are dead, but that number unfortunately is expected to rise.
Trying to get back to normal, a high school will be on modified lockdown this week after a shooting nearby. It happened yesterday in Pittsburgh. 3 students were shot but are expected to be okay. The modified lockdown means the building will be restricted to only students and teachers. Police have charged a 16-year-old in connection to the shooting. They say it was in response to a drug-related robbery inside the school last month. No charges have been filed in that case.
Authorities in Texas have issued a silver alert for a woman missing out of the Colony. That's just north of Dallas. They're looking for 76-year-old Stella Turnipseed. She was last seen yesterday morning. She is driving a 1999 Chevy Tahoe with the Texas plates BK04032. Police believe she could pose a threat to her own safety and health. If you know anything or you've seen this woman, you're asked to call the Colony Police at 972-625-1887.
Right now it's 6:07. Go ahead and drink another cup of Joe this morning. We'll tell you why coming up.
And what's the best job in America? You might be surprised by the answer.
And freezing temperatures in place across central Texas this morning, but it's going to warm up a little better today. And if you're ready for some warmer weather, well, you'll like the weekend forecast. We'll take a look at your full 7-day weather planner right after this. Well, I've had some chilly weather across central Texas over the last few days thanks to our cold front that moved through earlier this week, and highs yesterday struggled to make it into the 50s. Now, show you how crazy our weather is going to be over the next few days. Get to the weekend time frame, and morning lows will be several degrees higher than what our afternoon highs were yesterday. We are on pace for a pretty nice warming trend. You're not going to notice it this morning. It's still chilly, but look at how the highs are going to go up over the next few days. Back in the 60s today, likely into the 70s tomorrow. Saturday, close to the 80-degree mark, and I do think most of us get to 80 degrees Sunday, but here comes our next cold front. This front does not look quite as strong as it did yesterday. These cold fronts, it's hard to tell several days out exactly where the coldest air is going to move. Yesterday, it looked like it was going to move right down the central plains into Texas. Now it looks like the coldest Arctic air will slide east of us, which happens a lot of times this time of year, but it's still going to clip parts of central Texas and bring us a cool down. Chilly this morning, down still near or below freezing for most areas of central Texas. Waco at 30, Mahia, Corsicana at 32. Temple and Killeen have both dropped down to the 32-degree mark, but with the winds, it's kind of causing for some fluctuating temperatures. 34 right now in Bell County, Gatesville at the 32-degree mark. Winds aren't strong, but if you do have a breeze, it's out of the south and southeast. And if you do have a breeze, you're likely going to deal with wind chills down into the upper 20s. So it is a chilly jacket-style weather morning again. And you'll need the jacket through the morning hours, as by 9 o'clock, we're only at 39, 56 by lunchtime, 61 for an afternoon high. Sky's still clear, but we're watching a lot of high, thin clouds drifting in from the west, and we'll see a gradual increase in those clouds, and those clouds have helped to keep it in the 40s across Amarillo and Midland. The coldest air under clear skies off to the east from Little Rock to Birmingham to Nashville, Tennessee, where they're in temperatures down into the 20s this morning. Skies remain clear to partly cloudy this afternoon. You see the green trying to show up. As these high thin clouds thicken up a little bit this afternoon, they're going to try their best to maybe produce a little rain, but the vast majority of it will evaporate before it ever gets close to the ground. So during the evening and overnight hours, maybe a sprinkler or two, but that looks unlikely. Overnight lows above freezing. Most of us stay in the 40s, a good 10 to 15 degrees milder tomorrow morning. And by tomorrow afternoon, we're into the 70s and spend most of the weekend in the upper 70s to near 80. Late Friday into Saturday morning, could see another sprinkle or two. Right now, it looks like Saturday brings a slight chance of some rain. The weekend rain looks less and less optimistic every run we see of the computer models. And then again, a cold front arrives late Sunday, and that'll cool us off some as we head into next week.
Time right now, 6:12. Here's a quick look at today's top stories. Hewitt police are searching for a man and a woman who might have some answers about an area counterfeit scheme. Several counterfeit cases have been reported in Waco as well. Police say the two people are not being charged. They just want to talk to them.
Baylor has approved a 10-year contract extension for head football coach Art Briles. This means that his contract will run through 2023. Briles has led Baylor to an 8-0 record this year.
White House officials will meet with Democrats today to talk about the Affordable Care Act website. Yesterday, the government released its first month's enrollment numbers. They're 80% lower than predicted.
Right now at 6:13, those eagerly awaiting the movie version of 50 Shades of Grey will have to wait just a little bit longer. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. The release date has been pushed back to Valentine's Day of 2015. The original release was August of 2014. Now, one of the reasons production for the movie is being moved back is to allow the new lead man, Jamie Dornan, to prep for the new role. Kim Kardashian is showing off photos of her new baby. She shared the pics of Northwest on Instagram. One of the photos shows the baby cradled in the arms of a clothing designer. Kim posted the photos under the hashtag #NewStylist.
You don't have to be making big bucks now to make big bucks later on in life. Even without a huge salary, you can hit the $1 million mark by using your 401k smartly. Fidelity Investments studied investors who had banked $1 million in their 401k by their 59th birthday while making less than $150,000 a year. That's a lot of money for most people, but still, it just proves you can get a lot done. So what exactly are these millionaires doing? The pattern was starting their 401k young, saving a large chunk, about 14% of their own pay each year, and they took their company up on their offers to match their contributions. All right, how about our list of the best jobs in America? CNN Money and PayScale, a company that gathers information about job compensation, created the list. They picked the top 100 jobs in terms of growth, pay, and satisfaction. The top job is a biomedical engineer. It has a median pay of $87,000 with a 10-year job growth of nearly 62%. Clinical nurse came in at number 2, clinical nurse specialist. That was followed by software architect, general surgeon, and management consultant. High-tech jobs made up 6 of the top 25.
Right now it is 6:15. A new study finds women who have asthma take longer to get pregnant. Researchers in Denmark say women who have the respiratory condition are more likely to try for more than a year to conceive. That risk is even higher for those who don't get a treatment for asthma. Researchers say the inflammation may account for the delayed fertility.
And drinking coffee is actually good for you. Turns out drinking a moderate amount a day can help ward off type 2 diabetes. I'm sure, just don't put lots of sugar in it. That's according to the Institute for Scientific Information on Coffee. Who knew there was an Institute for Scientific Information of Coffee? I'm guessing coffee makers pay for that. They found drinking 3 to 4 cups a day lowers the risk of developing the disease by 25%. They also found that regular and decaf had the same benefits.
Right now it is 6:16. Ex-mobster on trial. When will the mob boss find out how long he'll spend behind bars?
And running out of options, the local football team hopes to keep practicing. Weather and traffic is next, but first, here's Emily.
Good morning, I'm Emily Iazetti. Today on Moms Every Day, we are talking about how to enjoy the holidays without being stressed, frustrated, or disappointed. And then we'll announce the first winner for our Disney on Ice contest. It's not too late for you to register to win. Details online at momseveryday.com. I'll see you later today for Moms Every Day at 4.
Good morning. Right now it is 6:19 on this Thursday morning. Keeping an eye on traffic, I want to let you know in Hewitt, traffic is starting to stack up at the Sun Valley overpass. It is down to 1 lane as crews are working on the new bridge overnight and blocking half of that overpass. Both lanes should be reopened by 7 a.m. We do, though, have normal speeds up and down 35 this morning, which is good news. Now in Killeen, Stan Schluter Loop is our hotspot from Tremere and South W.S. Young. You'll want to avoid this. This is going to cause you some delays this morning. Also, Coppers Cove drivers heading to Killeen on 190. You will hit a little bit of traffic. Might set you back around 7 to 10 minutes. Final look at the roads coming at 6:42.
Well, it's on the cold side again this morning across Central Texas. So much like yesterday, you're going to need that good winter jacket as you step out the door. Temperatures back down to near the freezing mark, kind of a 50-50 split of some of us at or below freezing, other areas holding just a couple degrees above freezing, but area-wide. It's cold this morning. But after this morning, we finally get rid of the freezing temperatures for a while and get some milder and even eventually warmer air moving in by the weekend. Coldest air has shifted off to the east. It's below freezing across much of the southeastern parts of the country, a early season freeze for them as well. And areas from like Little Rock to parts of Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama, dealing with temperatures down into the 20s this morning. So that's where the coldest air is. And you can, a lot of times in the winter, pick out where the coldest area is by finding where the clearest skies are. That cold front that shifted through, high pressure followed in behind it. High pressure leads to clear skies, quiet conditions, but during the wintertime, usually leads to those cold conditions as well. And that's why the cold conditions are sliding off to the east. And we're starting to see a little more clouds and a little better temperature starting to move in. We're really not feeling any of the differences as of now, but by tomorrow morning, we're only down in the 40s, and afternoon highs will really start to climb here over the next few days. So for today, chilly this morning, comfortable this afternoon. Still may need a light jacket. Our normal high is 69 this time of year, and we're going to be between 59 and 63, so still running a little cooler than normal. Late tonight, during the evening and overnight hours, we could see a little sprinkle or two, but the odds are less than 10% for most of us. Expect temperatures not quite as cold tomorrow, staying above the freezing mark, well above freezing in the 40s, maybe even near 50 degrees. And then warmer tomorrow as we see high temperatures make it back to near 70 degrees. And this shows you how crazy Texas weather is. Temperatures this morning near freezing, but by the time we get to Saturday morning, the morning lows will be as mild as what our afternoon highs are going to be today. Slight chance of a few showers on Saturday. Could see highs near 80 over the weekend before our next cold front moves in and cools us off next week.
All right, so it is Thursday, and it is definitely one of the best ones, a double dollar deal time on Thursday mornings at 7 o'clock on KWTX.com. You guys can buy a $100 gift certificate for just $30. This is to some Temple Mall merchants, and there's just tons of things you can buy for the holidays. This is going to be a great deal for everyone.
Yeah, this is video from inside the mall, just some of the stores where things are available. That looks interesting out there, I'm not going to lie. So let's take a look at just how much money you would save with this deal. You save $70. You, like Tiana said, $30 this one costs. And you get $100 worth of gift certificates. You get 10 $10 gift certificates. So let's take a look at some of the stores where you'll be getting these gift certificates. Everything from shoes to Annie Ann's Pretzels. I love that place.
Also, Regis Salon, and then Pro Image Sports Apparel. So if you've got a guy who maybe likes a jersey or something, this is great. Also, natural nails. So a lot of just unique different things.
Got a guy that has nice nails.
A guy who has nice nails. You guys want that for Christmas?
I'll go with the sports stuff. Not
yeah.
All right,
I'll go with the pretzel.
The pretzel, yes.
Those are going to go on sale at 7 o'clock at KWTX.com. Just look for the double dollar deals link at the very top of the page.
And it's also KWTX.com is the new website. Still to come, do you like to cuddle? Well, one woman likes it so much, she's making it her career.
Oh, gosh. And have you ever seen a 5-year-old on the high school marching band? You do not want to miss this little boy's smooth moves. Tonight on CBS, we want to let you know that the Millers is coming up at 7:30.
And on the CW Texas, rain, that starts at 8 o'clock. Primetime lineup is brought to you by JeffHunterToyota.com. Welcome back. Time right now, 6:26. A 5-year-old boy in Florida made a big impression at a big game, serving as a high school drum major.
Michael Williams shows us some of his impressive moves.
Ever since he saw a marching band, Taranza McKelvin has dreamed of being part of the show.
I watch other band videos, and it teaches me some of the moves.
So the 5-year-old decided to practice with Glade Central High School last summer at band camp.
I'm a good dancer.
Little did he know he was being recruited to be one of the band's newest drum majors. And Saturday, he made his debut in the biggest game in the Glades, the Muck Bowl.
I was nervous when I first got on the field, but then I just performed.
Dressed in his white and burgundy uniform, he led the Glades Central High School marching band onto the field for the halftime performance.
Believe it or not, he catches on probably faster than a lot of the other students, so he's a very unique kid.
Charles Moore is the school's band director.
He did his performance, and the crowd just loved him. They loved him, and literally.
And it's a memorable moment for his dad, a South Bay City Commissioner who marched in his college band.
Years old, you will never imagine a kid to go out there and perform like the way he did. But he made me and his mom and his brother very, very proud.
And for Taranza Jr., he sees this as a step toward an entertaining career.
I love performing in front of a lot of people. It really excites It really excites me.
You know, Brady said earlier that he taught him those moves. I see a lot of Brady in that kid's dancing right there.
Yeah, right. That kid has talent.
Just like Brady.
Yeah, no. Maybe Brady with the computer, not dancing. Not so much. We'll be right back. Good morning. Right now it is 6:30. I'm Taina Maya.
And I'm Dan Ingham. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to your headlines in about a minute. First, though, we want to go to our dancing fool, Brady Taylor. He's in the Dot 10 live forecast.
I'm sorry,
That's what
Brady.
I've been doing all commercial break, warm myself out.
If only people could see what goes on in the commercial breaks.
Probably wouldn't want to see. Temperatures across central Texas this morning on the chilly side as you step out the door. Down near the freezing mark, just about area-wide across central Texas. Waco at 30 degrees. It's 34 right now at Temple and Killeen, but both Temple and Killeen have officially dipped down to the freezing mark at times. 32 right now in the Gatesville area. Winds light and have switched. Yesterday we had a light north breeze. This morning a light south and southeast breeze. Enough breeze that if you do have a breeze, it's going to knock those wind chills down near or below that 30-degree mark. You can see Killeen with a temperature of 34. You add a little breeze, knocks it down to 29. Corsicana, the cold spot when you talk wind chills, 26. Feels like 27 right now in Hearn. So chilly this morning, but a little more comfortable this afternoon than where we've been the last few days. 39 degrees by 9 o'clock. We'll warm it into the mid-50s by the time we get to lunchtime. That's about where our highs were yesterday. Partly cloudy, a pretty nice afternoon. Still cooler than normal. Highs make it in the low 60s, but if you're looking for some warmer weather, it does get significantly warmer as we head into the weekend. 80s likely to roll back in at times this weekend before our next cold front moves in. Taina?
Thank you, Brady. Right now it is 6:31. Scandal on Capitol Hill. A Secret Service supervisor has been removed from the president's security detail. This is according to a report confirmed by CBS News. The Washington Post first reported the agent tried to re-enter a woman's hotel room after accidentally leaving a bullet behind. That same agent and his senior supervisor are being investigated for allegedly sending suggestive emails to a female subordinate. The incidents follow a prostitution scandal involving agents last year.
White House officials will meet with other Democrats today to talk about the Affordable Care Act. They're discussing the problems with the website and how they're going to be fixed. Yesterday, the government released the first month's enrollment numbers. They're even lower than the White House projected. Less than 27,000 people enrolled using the government's website and another 79,000 enrolled in states with their own websites. Those numbers are 80% lower than predicted.
A convicted mob boss will be handed his sentence this morning. The sentencing phase began yesterday for James Whitey Bulger in Boston. He was found guilty earlier this year of murder and racketeering. Now, in court yesterday, the victim's family members spoke out, calling him a rat and a coward for not facing them in court. Today, the judge could likely hand down 2 life sentences.
Looking for answers. Local police are looking for a man and a woman in connection to a counterfeiting scheme. Hewitt police released this security footage yesterday. It shows a man and a woman giving a gas station clerk a fake $100 bill. The bill recovered is similar to some found in a series of counterfeit cases out of Waco. In those cases, $1 and $5 bills were bleached, re-inked, and passed off as $100 bills. Then someone used them to buy expensive stuff on Craigslist. The 2 people are not facing charges, but Hewitt police want to question them to see if their stories are similar. If you know where these 2 people are, you're asked to call Hewitt police.
Right now it's 6:33. Credit or debit, the also familiar line, could be haunting people this holiday season. Local authorities and the Better Business Bureau want to make the public aware of a potential scam that's surfacing during the holidays, especially if you use your debit card. The scam happens after shoppers select no cash back. Police say store clerks will then reverse that and pocket the money.
A simple deterrent is when you do that transaction is to check the receipt at that time. It's much more difficult for law enforcement if 3 or 4 weeks or a month or 2 later you realize that something was wrong.
So far, this has not happened in Bell County, but police are just keeping an eye out in case.
A 21-year-old has avoided the death penalty by pleading guilty to capital murder. Brandon Cotton was charged in the death of Sandra Phillips back in April of 2011. She was found shot to death at her home near San Gabriel in rural Milam County. Cotton was sentenced to life in prison yesterday without parole. Jury selection had been taking place for almost 7 days when Cotton and the victim's family agreed to a plea deal. Another man charged in Phillips' death is awaiting trial.
A new set of eyes for a local police department. Belmont police plan to buy 14 new body cameras. Right now, the cameras they're using force them to make trips back and forth to the station to upload video and recharge the batteries. They only have a very small amount of storage and the batteries don't really last that long.
This piece of equipment is very crucial to us. I mean, you would think just a little camera on an officer doesn't mean much of anything, but it means a lot. And it can mean a case, it can mean someone going to jail or not.
Grant money will pay for those cameras.
Preparing for hazardous situations. Area firefighters train for hazmat services. A training program called Texas TransCare came to Belmead yesterday. Volunteers with the program talked to first responders about hazmat material stored in rail cars and highway tankers. About 100 first responders from departments all over Central Texas participated. Officials say the hazmat training is beneficial because an accident can happen anywhere, anytime.
It helps keep our guys safe, have better knowledge of when an incident takes place, and helps us protect the citizens better, being able to mitigate an incident.
The training was all free. Officials hope to make this an annual drill.
Are you a veteran looking for a job? If so, listen up. The Red, White, and U Job Fair will start this morning at 10 o'clock in Waco. It ends at 2 this afternoon. It's taking place at the Waco Convention Center at 100 Washington Avenue. Remember to bring plenty copies of your resume. Also happening today, a groundbreaking ceremony will take place for the new Hewitt Public Safety Facility. That starts at 10 sharp this morning at 100 Patriot Court. The ceremony is open to the public and free to attend.
A preemptive strike. Baylor announced last night that they've approved a new 10-year contract for head coach Art Briles. It's a 10-year deal that would run through 2023. The move comes after there was widespread speculation that Briles would be a top target of Texas if they were to fire Mack Brown. We spoke with athletic director Ian McCall last night, and he told us that this is a big move for the school.
Well, Coach Briles loves Baylor. He's done a tremendous job here, and one of the things that's really exciting is he's very committed to Baylor and loves it here. His family's very happy, and certainly that's the same feeling the Baylor Nation has for him.
Briles has the Bears 8-0 so far this season, and they are currently ranked 5th in the BCS poll.
Right now it's 6:37. Uncle Si lookalikes fans flock to meet a reality TV star.
And would you ever rent a boyfriend? Apparently it's a pretty popular concept.
And as we go to break, here's a look at today's question of the day.
Well, good morning to you and welcome back. A chilly start morning, 6:40 on the clock on this Thursday with temperatures down near the freezing mark once again. We've seen the temperatures kind of bounce around, and it all really just depends on how much wind you have. For the most part, calm winds in Waco have allowed Waco to get down to 30 degrees, at times as cold as 28. Temple has seen the temperatures actually come up about 4 degrees in the last hour or so. Earlier was 32, now 36, 34 in Killeen, 32 degrees right now in the Gatesville area. Right at freezing in Corsicana, Mejia, below freezing in Hearn and in the Centerville area. A look at the winds. You can see calm winds in Waco and Temple. Only a 6-mile-per-hour breeze right now in the Killeen area. If you do have a breeze, you can go ahead and subtract about 4 to 5 degrees those temperatures for what the wind chill is going to feel like. It'll feel like at times like it's down into the 20s this morning. So chilly for sure. Good jacket needed, but temperatures will warm pretty nicely as we go throughout the day. 56 by lunchtime, 61 for your afternoon high. So a little warmer today than yesterday, and that warming trend will continue here over the next few days. Pollen count really not all that bad. With the freezes that we've had, we should start to see the ragweed go down, which is good news, but we're getting to the time of the year that the mountain cedar will start to spike. So we'll keep an eye on both of those. As of now, the pollen count not all that bad. I'm sure the temperature fluctuation is causing some folks' sinuses and allergies maybe bothering them a little bit. Sky's clear for the most part. As you look off to the west, you're going to notice a lot of high thin clouds drifting into central Texas, and those high clouds will thicken up some as we head into the afternoon and evening hours and may thicken up just enough that we could see a sprinkle or two, but overall not expecting much of anything tonight across central Texas. Temperatures this morning for most of the state settled in the 30s and in the 40s. The coldest air is off to our east, down into the 20s in Little Rock and Birmingham, and much of the eastern parts of the country is down below freezing into those 20s. Right now we're looking at a light south breeze. We'll see south winds stick around 5 to 10 this afternoon. Could get as strong as 15 miles per hour. And you'll see with our timecast a little blip or two of green showing up. Nothing more than a little mist, drizzle, sprinkle or two during the evening and overnight hours. Milder tomorrow morning. We're staying above freezing with temperatures mainly in the 40s, and it should be a pretty nice afternoon on Friday. If you're heading to area playoff games, should be some nice weather, not as frigid as it has been during some of the evenings earlier in the week. 71 for a high on Friday. We're only down to 60 to start your Saturday morning. Clouds on the increase, maybe a light shower, and a few isolated showers throughout the day on Saturday. Sunday could see highs near 80 degrees before our next cold front knocks those temperatures down a little bit into next week. Taina?
Thanks, Brady. Keeping an eye on the roads right now. It is 6:42 in the traffic center. Let's start in Coppers Cove. Traffic is moving slowly again on 190. This is heading towards Killeen, seeing delays on Avenue D and also on 190 in several spots. So plan ahead for that. Now in Killeen, Rancier is slowing things down for anyone trying to get on post this morning. Actually, Watercrest is looking better than Rancier, which I don't say very often. So that just kind of puts things into perspective for you. No delays up and down 35 or on the loop in Temple. However, that's not the case in Belmead. Highway 84 has started to delay people 8 minutes from Michigan all the way to 35 south. Loop 340 is really backed up. Dan?
Thank you very much. Still ahead, looking for answers. Police try to learn more about a counterfeiting scheme, and you won't want to miss this video. A man without half of his arm breaks it down on the drums. But first, here's what you can find on 254sports.com.
Good morning, Central Texas. A lot to check out at 254sports.com this morning. You can check out our latest Behind the Green and Gold as Jeremy Stein takes us on a tour on the progress of Baylor Stadium. And we wrap up early signing day in Central Texas on Wednesday. Be sure to also check out all the latest signings from the rest of the week at 254sports.com. Have a good one, Central Texas.
Good morning. It is 6:46. A woman in Oregon isn't job hunting, she's job creating. She's become a professional cuddler. Now, you heard me, this for $60 an hour. This is disturbing. Sam Hess says she'll make you feel warm and fuzzy. This is just ridiculous. So this is one of her friends that she is demonstrating her techniques on. I didn't know this had techniques, but Sam has no plans of getting rich off of this gig. At least she's realistic. But she says it does take some skill.
Having the right touch for the right person at the right time is very specific.
She just has the ability to make you feel loved. You're just like in blissness. You know, it's beautiful.
Oh my God. Hess has dozens of clients, and she's even registered her business with the state. Did I mention she has a boyfriend, and he actually supports her new business venture? I say just go buy a blanket. It'll cost you less.
Fans of Duck Dynasty got quite the treat. The show's favorite uncle, Cy Robinson, was on post autographing his new book yesterday. Hundreds of people lined up early yesterday morning at the PX. The staff planned for maybe 600 to 800 people to show up. They think more than that even came. The event attracted several lookalikes as well.
It's a family-oriented show. It's a family thing that we all gather together to do and see. We watch reruns. I mean, we're really diehard fans.
There are lots of diehard fans out there. Robertson served in the Vietnam War. In fact, his son is a staff sergeant in the Army and was once stationed at Fort Hood.
It is getting darker earlier, and that is becoming a safety concern for parents of a local youth football team. A nonprofit organization in Harker Heights is now practicing on a field at a Killeen elementary school. They're using their own lights because of the amount of that Killeen ISD is charging to use their facilities. To use the district's stadium lights, it costs around $300 a night, and then they'd have to pay a fee to use the field. For a week's worth of practices, it would cost more than $1,000. The district only budgets for school-related use of the fields. They charge other organizations to use them in order to offset the cost to run them. An adventure park will be at the center of a public meeting today. This park's got a lot of people talking. It looks like it could be pretty cool. The meeting will be held at 7 p.m. in Waco. It'll be held at the Bosque Theater inside the Waco Convention Center. Now, a proposed plan for the adventure park and recreation facilities will be off of Lakeshore Drive at Riverbend Park, and that's what they're going to be talking about. The folks who did Hawaiian Falls want to make this adventure park. The meeting will give the public a chance to comment on the plans. Also, a documentary on campus will give more insight into the day President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Baylor will have a free screening of the day Kennedy died to commemorate the 50th anniversary of his assassination. The film will be shown today on campus at 3:30. It'll be held inside the Kaiser Auditorium of the Hankamer Business School.
Well, grab the jacket again as you step out the door. It is on the cold side with temperatures once again down near the freezing mark for the second morning in a row for many of us. Not as hard of a freeze across many areas. We've kind of seen temperatures bouncing near and at times below the freezing mark. Gatesville down to 32, Waco at 30, Corsicana 32, Hearn at 31, Centerville 30 degrees. Bryan College Station still hovering just above that freezing mark. So the folks down in Brazos Valley will miss the freeze for the second day in a row, but most of us seeing our second day of freezing temperatures. But today ends what has been a chilly stretch of weather and warming pretty significantly into the weekend. Highs today in the 60s. Tomorrow we're in the low 70s. By the weekend, upper 70s near 80 degrees. So significant warm up in store. Low end rain chances on Saturday. Earlier this week we had some pretty good rain chances in the forecast for the weekend, but as it goes sometimes. The setup's changing a little bit, so a very low-end rain chance Saturday. And speaking of changing, we've got a cold front that arrived, looks like late Sunday right now, but this front looking a little less impressive for us, and the coldest air may shift off to the east. So a cool down next week, but not as bitterly cold as this last front has been. Skies clear this morning, high clouds drifting in from the west, and we will see more and more clouds gradually work in during the afternoon and evening hours. A little warmer today than yesterday. Highs in the upper 50s and low 60s. During the evening, overnight hours, maybe a sprinkler or two, nothing significant. Overnight lows not as cold. We're down mainly in the 40s, so we stay above the freezing mark. And tomorrow, likely to see highs make it back to near the 70-degree mark. Saturday will bring with it some slight rain chances. Not going to be a washout. Warm this weekend, back near 80 degrees for our next cold front. Knocks the temperatures down some. Still a question mark on how cold it will get behind that next cold front.
Right now it is 6:53. Thanks for staying with us on KWTX News 10 this morning. Time for a little web wake up. All right, drumming is a hard talent to master, but imagine doing it with no forearms. One Romanian man is making it happen. Check it out. This is Cornell. He was born with no forearms and a deformed right leg. When he was a baby, he was abandoned in an orphanage for disabled kids.
Oh, but fortunately, after getting some medical attention, he has become the inspiration that he is today. And this is actually a drum cover of a Foo Fighters song. He's rocking it.
Yeah, it's got over 750,000 views so far on YouTube, and it's crazy. He's got all these skills. He's only 21 years old, so showing the world all you need is some determination and a drumstick, so you can rock out.
Yeah, good job to him.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so are your parents nagging you about finding a boyfriend or a baby or spouse? Sometimes parents want you to hurry up and make them grandparents. Well, no need to worry. Now you can rent a boyfriend. Matthew Fan is a pretty smart businessman. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a picture of him to show you, but the 27-year-old from China rents himself out as a fake boyfriend.
The women then introduce him to their families. Apparently, it's getting pretty popular in China. He charges $131 a day with a 3-day minimum. Oh, and you have to pay for his meals and give him a place to stay.
And I think we found out why doesn't have the picture. He says he'll, as long as there are single women in judgmental families, there'll always be a market for fake boyfriends. Here's the interesting part. He has a girlfriend. She doesn't know that he has this side business, so probably the reason he's not floating his picture around everywhere.
He's kind of shady, it sounds like.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We'll be right back.
Right now it's 6:56. Here's a last look at today's top stories before we go. Hewitt police are looking for a man and woman in connection to counterfeit bills. This is a security video that shows a man giving a fake $100 bill to a gas station clerk. The bill recovered is similar to some found in a series of counterfeit cases in Waco.
Yeah, in those cases, $1 and $5 bills were bleached, re-inked, and passed off as $100 bills. The two are not facing charges, though police just want to talk to them.
Police want to remind you holiday shoppers beware of potential scams. Local officials in the Better Business Bureau in Bell County say scams usually surface around this time of year. This new scam happens after shoppers select no cash back when using their debit card. Police say store clerks can reverse that and then pocket the money. Now, it hasn't happened in Bell County yet, but police are keeping an eye out.
Police are calling in larger law enforcement departments to help with a double homicide case. You might remember 2 sets of bones were found behind a trailer park in a wooded area in Hewitt back in September. So far, police have received a number of tips, but all have been dead ends. Early reports show both were white men and victims of an apparent homicide.
Belmead police plan to buy 14 new body cameras to keep officers on the streets longer. The cameras they use now force officers to take several trips back and forth to the station to upload video and to recharge batteries. Grant money will be used to buy the 14 cameras.
Officials are heading to Capitol Hill today to talk about the Affordable Care Act. The government released this in the first months of enrollment. The government, I should say, released its first month enrollment numbers. Easy for me to say. In fact, only 27,000 people enrolled using the site. Another 79,000 enrolled in states with their own websites. And in Texas, less than 3,000 people have enrolled. That's 80% lower than projected.
And here's a look at your 7-day weather planner. Chilly again this morning, down near freezing, so you want to grab the jacket as you step out the door. But a nice warming trend starting today, really as we get a little closer to the weekend. 60s for highs today, right near 70 degrees as we head into Friday. Milder mornings, warmer afternoons, and maybe a stray shower over the weekend. And for another cold front arrives next week. But this next cold front doesn't look to be quite as strong as the one that we had. Like right now, it looks like we stay above freezing next week.
Lots of moving parts right now in the weather department.
Very, very fluid weather situation. One of those change the wardrobe nearly every day kind of stretches.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at our question of the day before we get out of here on this Thursday. The question was, nearly 8,000 men in the U.S. hurt themselves each year doing which household chore? The answer is ironing the clothes.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I'm sure I've done that a time or two before, yeah.
I actually probably would have
say a lot of
now that I think about it, yes, now I think about it. We want to remind you that today is Thursday, which means we have a double dollar deal available at 7 o'clock on KWTX.com, and then click on the double dollar deal tab. Today's deal is for $30, you're going to get $100 worth of gift certificates to 10 different Temple Mall stores for you to spend at different places like the Shoebox, Regis Salon, Pro Image Sportswear, and Natural Nails.
Yeah, it's real easy. All you have to do in about 45 seconds is go to KWTX.com, and you can have the deal in your house very soon.
And don't forget, tomorrow's Friday, which means Good News Friday. We want to hear your good news. Share it with us at news@KWTX.com, or you can always find us on Facebook and Twitter. We need a video. We haven't had a video in a long time, so maybe send us your Uncle Si video if you took a video with him, or some,
An ironing injury, whatever.
No ironing injuries, not at all.
That may not be suitable.
We'll see you right back here today at noon. Thanks for joining us today.